We are all here. We are heading home. It is 2 o'clock. Addie Bear, are you going home too? Yeah. We're all going home. It's a little past lunchtime, 2 o'clock. It's quite a ways past lunchtime. But we are looking to get out of here, go home, get something to eat. It was a beautiful day. Really, really beautiful day. The sun was out. It was plus 12. Just a nice day all around. A lot of horses trained today. We went with, virtually all the babies. Bless you. We went with virtually all the babies today. Put her in her seat right now. We went with all the babies today and got some great news out of Ontario. Some good news coming, hopefully, in Ohio tomorrow or Thursday morning, I believe. But some great news out of Ontario where they think they're going to be back racing June the 5th. June the 5th, which is a big day, and circle that in your calendar. Jim Lawson said the 5th or the 12th. He said the week before that we're going to allow people in to train. Maybe we can sneak a bunch over there and go some good miles with them. Although we're putting work into the track and grading it today, this afternoon, or tomorrow morning. We're putting material on it. We've got a gate to go behind. Those tools are great, but it would still be really nice to get the horses over to Mohawk and get a real good mile in it. That would be good. I think more questions than not came out of Pennsylvania yesterday. I think you're going to have these hurdles. You know, I said this the other day on Facebook. I would hate to be a governor. But at the same time, you know, you have to keep everybody in your state as safe as you can. Everybody in your state as safe as you can. But at the same time, you have to keep, you have to fix the economy. Protect the economy. So there's that thin line, right? Are we asking to go back to work too early, not too early, and really you don't know until you do, and it's just a tough time to be anybody in a political position. You know, you have lots of people on Facebook telling you when you should go back and what you should do. You know, I don't subscribe to the foolishness on Facebook. I'll take my direction from scientists, doctors, and in this case, politicians who take their direction from scientists. So, I want to believe we're going to be back in Ontario June 5th. I want to believe Ohio will start up May 21st. I want to believe that all the other states will be open just after that. Oliver! Close the door, bud. So close the door, honey. Goodness. So that's the thing, right? We want to get back to work as soon as we can. But we want to do it in a safe manner. So I hope that Governor Wolf reconsiders and we get back to racing at the same time everybody else does in North America. You know, I know Ohio is the state right beside him. Ohio's looking to get horse racing back on May the 21st or thereabouts. So the statement made by Pennsylvania yesterday was virtually horse racing will be back when the casinos are, which is absolute lunacy. I mean, if you're talking about funding, that's another ball of wax. But if you're talking about safety and the ability to come back, then I think it's nothing short of stupid. But again, not my province or not my state. So when it came to the babies today, as I said, we're now in a position where we're starting to see those dates start to firm up. As I said, Jim Lawson, who has been extremely guarded with what he has said in respect to when we're going to race, what it's going to look like, how we're going to do it. He's been very sheepish about that. For him to come out and make a statement June 5th or June 12th, I would suggest that unless something catastrophic happens in Ontario between now and then, that looks like a firmed up date, I would think. Ohio had said they're going to start qualifying this weekend, I believe. Yes, this weekend, I believe. And then Indiana has said June 14th. So really what we're waiting for now. New York, Jeff Grell had said his 2 tracks in New York. He's going to try and get them open quickly. So really the only things you're looking for are 2 of the places we all thought would be open earlier. Right? We talked about Illinois, talked about Illinois. No firm date from them yet, and Governor Pritzker. And then you look at Pennsylvania, and that was obviously depressing yesterday. I think it's a work in progress, but the statement they made, I think, was unrealistic. So that's where we're at in a state of racing, is a state of training. 3-year-olds, some of the 3-year-olds trained today. We have some of them going in sets now. We are going to train. I am going to take out really blue chip. Any of the horses that are ready to go, just need a mile, and I don't want to stress them out, they're not going to go on Saturday. They're just, it's counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here. For any of you that know really blue chip, very thin filly, extremely difficult, much like Trafalgar was, and she's put some weight on. So hopefully we can pack some weight on really blue chip. She's just a very odd looking filly. You know, to be quite honest, at the heart of the last summer, she looked malnourished. And it's not that she is. She eats as much as anybody. She just doesn't. For those of you out there that are going to send me articles about ulcers and everything, we've had her looked at. We've had her on ulcer medication. She continues to be on it, but she eats well. She just doesn't gain weight. I think she's just a very nervous filly. So we're going to try and combat that. Also, Trafalgar, again, we're going to stick to the schedule we got. Harry's got her looking incredible. Kevin went with a bunch of 3-year-olds today. They looked great. Any of the horses, I believe, need to train on Saturday, and you guys can benefit from watching them go, then that's who's going to go. We'll have that set. I'll work on that set more today. We do have some hiccups with the 2-year-olds. No injuries, just some horses that are making breaks. Carry a Big Stick had a tough day today. He looks better to me, but he's not trotting better. Made a break in half of the turns he went through today, and that's not, I will tell you this, bad that he's making breaks, good that he's sound. The horse looks sounder than I've ever seen him right now, and frustrated, as you can imagine, because he's a competitor and he's struggling with being able to do his job properly. So my job is to not stress him out. I understand that, yeah, I want him to trot, you want him to trot, all our partners want him to trot, but at the same time, I know his attitude and his mentality. If he's not trotting, he can't right now. And it's not lameness, it's mechanical. We'll get him through it. But again, this isn't new. You guys have worked through this. I hope we look back on this in September and say, geez, I'm ever glad that we just took our time with Carry a Big Stick, because horses that want to do it as bad as him, I want to give them time. And it's not interfering. You know, you guys have heard me say that a lot of times, and it's like, I forget the name of the horse. Somebody will tell it to me. You know, he just needs to work through it. Let's Roll On was a horse like that. He's working through it now. But you have other horses that just haven't got over that hurdle. And if they have, they haven't been able to stay on the other side of it consistently. And that's where Carry a Big Stick is. So he's working through it. A horse that's frustrating me a little bit right now, First Glance. Making breaks again today. But, you know, truthfully speaking, he doesn't look sore anywhere to me. And he's not throwing his head like he was. He just looks, I don't know, he looks uncomfortable. Doesn't seem to be any lameness that I can see. He's not hanging on a line. He's not doing anything unorthodox. Where you say, oh, maybe it's there, maybe it's there. He's just making breaks. So maybe a little growth spurt. That's frustrating for me to watch right now. There's a few horses that are stalled a little bit, but they feel like they're coming forward. I can honestly say there's no horse in our care right now where I'd say, that horse is just no good. No, I don't think there's any of those. The ones that I had my concerns with were gone early. And even horses that are smaller that, you know, who knows what they're going to be when they get to the races. As long as our expectations are tempered, I think they'll be just fine. So those two horses in particular will probably, by probably, I mean they will miss Saturday's drone. I just want to work with them over the next week, continue to chip away. A horse like First Glance really had no issues ever, so I just want to get him back to where he was. Horse like Carry a Big Stick, just trying to get him over those hurdles. You know, he's got that big clunky gait, and although he'll never see a half-mile track in his stake career, if he gets there, he has to see one here. So we're working on all this stuff with these horses, and I don't see any concerns. No lameness issues today. Another horse well and down, paced good today. James Such, he was over on the left shaft a little bit. Now, I said to him, is she sore at all? No, she's perfect that way. I think we're just going to back off and jog her for 2 weeks, get her confidence back up. She's not throwing her head with that martingale we put on her, so that's a bonus. We got her on the right side of that. She's not acting up on the track. She did her work well today. He just thought she was a little pinchy right hind over on that left shaft. Pulled up fine. I walked her. We walked her after we put her away. She looked fine to me. It could be nothing. Could be that maybe she just kicked the wall or was acting up or had a bad day, or maybe she was horsing and just was uncomfortable cramping over on the shaft. But either way, there's no denying how fast she is. So let's just take it easy for the next week or two with her. Just so many horses. Set 3 today, almost every horse in set 3 was fantastic. I'm not going to run through all the horses that were in all the sets. We trained almost everyone today. I can't think of any of the usual suspects. No Free Lunch didn't go today. They had blistered him behind, so his legs filled up a little bit. I was a little concerned. Anytime you see a little swelling, you're like, it's no big deal. And if we were training in 240 and it was the middle of the winter, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when we're going in 25 or 30 at a mile and a half and letting them dance along, look pretty good on the end of it, you don't want to turn a little something into something big. It turned out we turned him out in the field, brought him in 2.5 hours later, and his legs were all cleaned out. So he could have went, but I erred on the side of caution with him today. I might train him a little slow mile tomorrow. Who else? That's about it, really. So we'll get right into the sets. Some horses are really starting to shine of late, and I love this time of year when you heard the horses like Eternity Road, Won My Heart, Frilly Fringes. And I apologize to the people that own Frilly Fringes. I didn't put her on my top 15 list last week. She's never missed the list, nor should she have last week. It's one of my partners that sent me a message. Is there something wrong with Frilly Fringes? No, you didn't put her on the top 15 list. It's my fault. I'm sorry. So obviously no Danny today. Not going to be Danny for a little while. And thank you all very, very much for donating. For those of you who may have missed it, we have a GoFundMe page, just kind of in-house set up for Danny and Aaron. I want to make sure they get some money because it's hard for me. I have to hire people to replace them, and to pay them full wages is tough right now. But I'm doing the best I can as we make it through. So if I can supplement that in any way, that would be good. These are people that are our people, right? Erin helps feed all the horses. She's in-house. She's here all the time. If I call her at 10:30 and say, hey, I forgot to take the temperature of this horse before I left, she would go down and take it. So these are invaluable people. And Danny's been with me off and on for a very, very long time. We've been friends for 2 decades. He worked with me in 2007 when I had a different stable, a racing stable. And then come on board with us when we opened up this stable. And Danny has always been he's a horseman's horseman, put it that way. Danny can do everything, just a very intricate part of the stable. And to have people that truly care about the horses and care about the horses doing well, it's hard to do. You hire people, but a lot of people are just employees, right? They do their work and they go home. And it's the people that take it to the next level that obviously I pay attention to, and everybody else pays attention to, that hires these types of people for whatever job you have. To have people that care a lot about you, care a lot about what you're trying to build, and understand how you're trying to do it, and want to play a role in that. Those are the type of people we want to keep around. So Danny and Aaron, as I said before, get well soon. We're putting together some money for you guys to make sure, make sure at least while you're healing up, you weren't starving to death. So, again, we're trying to take care of them in-house, and again, we set up this GoFundMe for Aaron and Danny. So let's get right to it. The sets now. First set, I'll give you the standouts from every set. Every horse trained today. It's not, if you don't hear your horse's name, it's not that they didn't go bad, or that it's not. I didn't have Frilly Fringes on the list today. Amy went with Frilly Fringes, just went around with her, and did everything right, and that's important. Just because you don't hear it doesn't mean they didn't wow me. These are horses that did. These are horses I went with. The entire set 3 was amazing. I'll mention everybody that was in that set. We'll start with the first set. Barbie's Crown. I two-moved her. I told you guys she's not like a big strapping filly. This is a filly that's growing. She's lanky. She's a little thin. We trained her 4 weeks ago, and she came in blowing her head off, which is good. But I wanted to keep her throttled back a little bit until she had the proper muscle, proper stamina in place, where when we gave her that mile again, she wasn't blowing, and that was today. I worked her out pretty good today, come a good last quarter. Where We Welcome set last and came flying on the outside now. She didn't quite get me, but Where We Welcome looked fantastic on the outside. That's my girl. Johnny came first over with her. We finished right there together, all three of us. Bing, bing, bing. Barbie's Crown, Where We Welcome, and That's My Girl. And all three of those horses looked fantastic in that set. Very impressed with Barbie's Crown. I know I'd spoke to Steve, and I forget too, whether I become friends with you guys, or we own horses together, or we're just partners, or whether I train your horse. At the end of the day, I sometimes I just blow by horses. And Barbie's Crown I don't gush about just because she's an okay filly. She does her work well, and Steve and I own her, right? Steve picked this filly out. Steve Palermo. We've become friends. He plays an intricate role in the stable also, much like many other people do. And I really just didn't say much about Barbie the other day, and Steve thought that was maybe a hint that she wasn't doing any good, and she was. She's doing fine. I just didn't happen to go there last week. So Steve, I went with her today. two moved her back to the front. We came to the head of the lane. I called on her, and we were doing some trotting down the lane. That's my girl, and War We Welcome. I don't have to speak very much. I think extremely highly of both of these fillies. I think they're both top flight fillies in their jurisdiction. I believe, unless I'm wrong, and unless this jurisdiction is incredibly difficult this year, I believe War We Welcome is a gold type filly, and I believe That's My Girl is an Indiana top tier type filly. And these are two fillies that rolled right up alongside Barbie, and I actually think I beat them at the wire. And it's not that I think that Barbie's going to be a killer. She only has to be a stake filly if she ends up floating around between the golds and the grassroots and ends up being a nice horse for Steve and I. Great. And I think that's the type of filly she is. She just does everything right now. And that's important, to be able to move, sit, sprint, do what I ask you to do at any given time. That's important. She's figured it out, and she understands how to do her work. So my apologies for not being clear enough the other day. I didn't happen to go there the other day. So in my rundown, it was, how is Barbie's Crown? Oh, she's doing her work fine. So she is, but she was very good today. That's My Girl was really good. War We Welcome was great, considering we did have her to the vet. We did a little work on her. This was her first training trip back, and she looked like a freight train down the lane. Looked great. Second set was a smaller set. We had a scratch in there, and Northern Blizzard. For those of you out there that don't know Northern Blizzard, I think this is a really, really nice colt. Legit colt. If he stays sound and this trajectory he's on continues into his racing career, I think he's a gold type colt also. I think I can say that right now. Keep in mind, take that with a grain of salt, because I don't know how anyone else's horses are doing. This might be a bumper crop and a banner year in Ontario, and every trainer out there has a trotting filly or colt that can fly, in which case we just got nice horses. But when you look at War We Welcome, Walk on the Moon, Northern Blizzard, a host of other horses in this jurisdiction. A horse that I didn't say anything to Johnny about Can't Muscle Me today. He went with it and he goes, this horse can fly. I said, I know. He said, well, you just made it sound like she was okay. I said, I might have underplayed my hand, but she's a nice filly too. Ontario, I think, this is going to be the best year I personally, stable or otherwise, have ever had in Ontario. And I believe War We Welcome and specifically also Northern Blizzard are going to play a role in that. Very impressed with Northern Blizzard today. This colt's putting it all together at the right time. Roy Hill and Northern Blizzard finished together under the wire. We had Roy Hill made a break in the turn on James last time, and he almost made a break today on Johnny, or maybe he did. And then I got thinking about it. I let his hobbles out like 4 holes a month ago, and this is the first 2 times we've asked him to really bust along. We put flip-flops on him and let his hobbles way out. So I think I know why he might have made a break. It might have had something to do with what we did. So not a big deal. As I said to Johnny, we'll pull his hobbles back in first. When we get to Ohio, we'll pull those flip-flops off him. I think Roy Hill is pretty much ready to go. Now the third set was really, really impressive. I had Miss Meringue in there, and Miss Meringue was fantastic. Was fantastic today. Hold on. She wasn't fantastic. She had no residual aches and pains from what took place last week, so that's good. She was on the right line a bit. I think we got to change her headgear around a little bit, but I moved her 2 or 3 times, and she was extremely good. I think, personally, myself, I said to James, take the boots off, put bandages on her, flip-flops up front, a bit burn, extended jawbreaker on her, and I think she busts around here Saturday real good. Just to be sure, I'm going to try my hardest to go with Miss Meringue on Saturday. Also, Mama Knows Best was incredible today. Jason moved her a couple of times, sat behind me, was climbing all over me, wheeled her out in the middle of the track, and was flying after the wire. Mama Knows Best looked, I think it's fair to say, I didn't ask Jason this directly, but after talking to him and after seeing her myself, I suspect it's probably the best trip she'd ever gone in her life, was today. Lincoln Hanover was very good. There was a wall of horses finishing up. I thought I was a winner halfway down the lane. She got running in a little bit more, and 4 of them picked me off at the wire. But we were skating pretty hard down the lane. Won My Heart Hanover. Amy went with her, sat on the outside. Amy said she was awesome. Fox Valley Britsko was very, very good again today. Lincoln Hanover and Can't Muscle Me come charging through the middle of everybody down the lane and looked awesome. Just a great set, top to bottom. Start to finish for all of those horses. Mama Knows Best, Miss Meringue, Lincoln Hanover, Fox Valley Britsko, Won My Heart Hanover, and Can't Muscle Me. A great set right there. The next set, again, was shortened up a little bit. I didn't mention the horse I had in here. I must have made a break. I'm not sure. Argento was very good. I didn't know how James would be with him today. Now, I let James go with him today. I gone with him a lot over the last week, and I said, you go with him and tell me what you think. And this is what I'll often do. I had somebody the other day say, the way you had said about changing Mamano's best gear, it's almost like you didn't trust that Jason knew what he was doing. And I didn't mean to allude that, and if I did, that certainly wasn't what I was saying. We'll often bounce ideas off one another, and this is all trial and error. For those of you who don't train horses, a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff we do is trial and error. Did it work? Didn't, if it doesn't work, fine, go back to the drawing board. If it does, fantastic. And I had James go with Argento for that reason today. Tell me what you think. I'm happy with where he is, and I think he's ready to come forward now. What do you think? James come off the track, and he said, I think the horse is great right now. He seems dialed in. Seems like he's trotting a lot better. I was very happy with him. So was James. And another horse that looked great in there and is quietly getting good every week is Cirrus Blue Chip. Cyrus, whatever the hell you want to call him. Cirrus, I call him Cirrus, but I don't think it is. And somebody sent me how you look up in the dictionary and it shows the word broke up so you say it properly. Somebody sent me that. Thank you for that. Not funny. But Cirrus Blue Chip, I think, is sitting on probably a big mile in the coming weeks or months. Set 5 also, like set 3, was very good. Now, I will say this. Just going by today, we're not talking about consistency. We talk about the 2 lists the last month and a half or so. You have to have that Eternity Road list where he's always near the top because consistently he was a great horse all year for us, and now he's climbed back onto the top or near the top of that list. When you look at recently, I spoke about a filly that recently caught my eye. You look at Ohio. I can't wait to get to Ohio. I'm a Lovely Lady, GW Chrome, Eternity Road, and a filly that I think is maybe one of the only horses that can trot with Eternity Road, and I never saw this coming. Not at this extent was Rose Run Why Not. I removed her back to the front today, controlled the race, the training trip, and in the last turn she does run in a little bit, so I just wanted to let her do her work. I let her run in. I didn't ask her for any speed. I'm a Lovely Lady come to the outside and went by me by half a length. James wheeled off Johnny's back. Johnny was going with I'm a Lovely Lady. James wheeled off Johnny's back and is coming with Eternity Road. Those 2 horses can trot down the lane as fast as any 2 horses maybe I've ever had at this training center. Rose Run Why Not straightened up, caught them, and went by them under the wire. And when we hit the wire, I was in front again with Rose Run Why Not. Eternity Road was on the far outside, and in the middle was I'm a Lovely Lady, and we were flying under the wire. Right behind us was Walk on the Moon, and then Broadway Roll. Broadway Roll was right there also. So there's another horse here. What the hell is my hand next to it? I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. Broadway Roll was right behind us also. So that set also, we were skating pretty good in there. But Rose Run Why Not, for those of you who thought maybe the other day was a fluke, or maybe just the first time Anthony went with her and she jumped forward, she was even better today. So Rose Run Why Not, eye-popping the last 10 days, that filly. And again, for those of you out there thinking I'm blowing smoke, I don't own a share, nothing of Rose Run Why Not. Her shares have been sold out forever. It's not that I'm doing anything more than reporting to you what I saw today. Rose Run Why Not was extremely impressive again today. Another reason to take note of the hard work that Danny O'Brien has put in. That filly's been in Danny's barn since day one. Many of you will remember, if you visited the training center, she spent the first 3 weeks on the pace. It was a chore to get this filly to trot at all, and she was extremely unimpressive. She's made multiple breaks on Danny and other people all winter. We were just trying to get her squared away, and I'm going to tell you one thing, that was an impressive mile again today. Set 6 was good again. Warwee was up, controlled it all. Desperado and Blue Monk just picked him off at the wire. Another set we were flying under the wire. I sat behind Kevin the whole way with Warwee was up. Blue Monk came first over, and he got us both. I didn't quite get him until after the wire. I was charging through the middle with Desperado. But we were flying. Remember what I told you, from the head of lane to the wire, unless you're really making it, it's hard to pass horses when they're going that fast. That's why even the 3-year-olds that sit behind the 2-year-olds struggle to pass them, because it's game time for them, right? They don't know the difference. They when you ask them to pace or trot, they really bear down. And I just picked off where we was up, and Blue Monk came first over, and he had the jump on both of us going under the wire. Blue Monk was very, very, very good. Desperado was good again, and Warby was up, started to come forward the way I know he will. He looked incredible today also. Set number 7, Amy got the catch drive on GW Chrome. Now, she said he just knuckled over or something after the wire, made a little break, but he never has run there ever in his life, I don't think. She said he was good. We wear some gear because he runs in. She said he was on the other line today, which is a good thing. I think the way we shot him last week, we changed some stuff on him. I think he was running in because he was interfering on that right hind leg. He's not doing that now. He's starting to come off that line. That's good. We can start taking equipment off of him. GW Chrome blew by me. Now, I had the lead with Carry a Big Stick, and he was doing his work well. And then Amy come 100, blew right by me. He made a break because we were in the middle of a turn. Made a break and then was poor after that. But GW Chrome blew by me and really controlled the rest of the 5/8 of the mile and really dispatched them well. On the outside, Off-Road Hanover was trying to get to her, but I think GW Chrome, I doubt he ever would have let him by him. You know, he's a real determined colt, and if he made a break after the wire in the middle of the straightaway, obviously that's because he went from running in the turns when we were going with him before, changing his shoes, to now he switched leads. Now he's on the left line in the straightaway. Pretty easy. Take some of that stuff off, and I think what you'll see is him straighten right up. So GW Chrome was great again today. So was Off-Road Hanover. He was awesome. Carry a Big Stick. Back to the drawing board a little bit with him, but the good news is he's getting sounder, so it's not a lameness issue. We'll get him figured out. I'm not too concerned with that just yet. And then in the last set, there was a number of horses in there. I had First Glance, who really had a poor day. Made a couple of breaks, 2, 3, 4 breaks, but didn't seem sore to me. So it's just a matter of Sherry, one of my partners on the horse, and a friend had messaged me and said, do you think he's just maturing? Is this a colt thing? You're very likely right. That's exactly what it is. So we made another shoeing change on him today. We're going to tinker with his equipment, see if we can't get to the bottom of it, and keep going with him. As I said, the same with Stick. Doesn't appear to be any soreness or lameness issue. So let's lean towards mechanical, and we'll see if we can't get the kink out of him, whatever's bothering him. Brilliant Corners. Now, perfect example. Here's a horse that couldn't function his entire life up until 6 weeks ago. Another horse that Danny O'Brien has been working on and did great things with. This horse, an Italian Grit. I was way back. I was angry. I was trying to figure out what was going on with First Glance. I did watch them finish up, and they were both miking at the wire. They were flying at the wire. Brilliant Corners and Italian Grit. Both of them look good. Geez, it would be great. These are two horses that didn't really do a whole lot all winter and have really, really come on in the springtime. Really impressed and happy to see them. Now, if you're going to make, I wouldn't make a top 10 list today because there's so many horses that belong on the list, but I'm going to tell you 5 horses that impressed the hell out of me. Now, again, Frilly, Fringes, War We Welcome, even Barbie's Crown, Won My Heart, Hanover. They did what they were supposed to do today. They did what I expected them to do today. Did they do it astonishingly? No, they did it really good. Now, maybe I'm not giving War We Welcome the credit she deserves because I only saw her charging at the wire, and Mario said he was way back. She may have went an astonishing last 3/8 of a mile. I don't know. But I left her off the list because she didn't beat me at the wire with Barbie's Crown, but she looked good. 5 horses that I thought looked awesome today. Number 5 is Northern Blizzard. Northern Blizzard was fantastic. Another horse that's been doing things great, but I still see progression from this horse. As good as I told you he was months ago, as good as I told you he was a month ago when he made breaks and I said, don't worry, he'll be fine. As good as he was last week when I went with him, he was better today. So Northern Blizzard, progression out of him, great attitude, great gait, big rangy colt. I'm expecting good things from this horse this summer. Number 4, Blue Monk. I like him because of the way he did his work today. First over, laid parked, ground us up, and spit us out down the lane. Yeah, he only beat us at the wire, but he beat us. And Blue Monk's so tough. I cannot wait to see this horse race this summer. Just an extremely impressive horse. Blue Monk easily number 4. I'm a Lovely Lady and Eternity Road and Rose Run Why Not. I gave all 3 of them 3, 2, and 1 because that set was absolutely incredible. Rose Run Why Not is going to be on top of the list because 1, she beat them, and 2, the way she did it. You know, no quit in this filly. She was collared by 2 incredibly fast horses in the last turn and dug down deep to come back on and beat them. That was a big training trip today. Number 3 is I'm a Lovely Lady. First over, just beat at the wire by number 2, Eternity Road, who looked awesome again, and Rose Run Why Not. Nothing short of an incredible mile and a half from her this morning. So that is it. I'm only giving you 5. I'm not making a big deal about it because it was today. No, Northern Blizzard, Blue Monk, I'm a Lovely Lady, Eternity Road, and Rose Run, Why Not. 5 horses that impressed the hell out of me. I would suggest if you ask Mario, he would tell you that War We Welcome was awesome. Nevertheless, I expect her to be awesome. She's one of our best horses. Freely Fringes had fun playing around today. So did Won My Heart Hanover. Amy had a good day. The horses had a good day. Everybody had a good day today. It was just beautiful. It would have been just fine to do the drone today. But you know what? I want to get the track graded. I want to go with them a little harder on Saturday. Most of the horses just went along. They might have sprinted them a little bit, but for the most part, they just went easy miles. So Saturday will suit me just fine if we can get that. And it looks like the wind's going to be down. The sun's going to be out. Looks like it's just going to be a beautiful day here in Campbellville on Saturday. So a good day today, hopefully a better day, even a better day on Sunday. Great news coming in over the last 24 hours about getting back to the races. Ontario, Ohio, Indiana. Hopefully we'll see Illinois and New York. Hopefully we'll see Illinois and Pennsylvania follow suit very, very soon. So that's it. That is it's 2:30 now. A long day, but at the same time a great day. These are the days where I might be tired, but I still go home with a big smile on my face. Time for a little lunch. I'll talk to you guys soon.